Hello everybody, Yasufilimo, and welcome to my AGDQ2019 submission of PAC-MAN Championship Edition DX Plus for PC. So why don't we just not wait around on this wonderful title screen with this awesome music, and why don't we go ahead and get started with the run, and not in that. For some reason the game just randomly starts at a level like that. So the category I'm going to be doing today is single segment all-time trials. Usually just shorten it all-time trials because, I mean, not like anybody runs segment for this game. I'm going to be doing every single level, including the DLC levels for this run. But no DLC and DLC are separated. So why don't we start here with good old Championship 2, the quintessential first level of this game. So PAC-MAN DX, as it's abbreviated, is a 2010 XBLA game that got ported to PSN, Steam, mobile. I mean, basically if you own any system, except Nintendo ones, you can play this game. But Nintendo one's got Championship Edition 2, which, frankly, you might be better getting this game instead. So, the basics of this game, from just a gameplay standpoint, is that there's a whole lot to go over. This game is very different from the normal Pac-Man formula. So you're going to notice that we're basically spawning in parts of the level at a time as soon as we eat fruit. Fruit spawn whenever we eat every single pellet, including power pellets, on a specific side of the level. From there, if we pass by a ghost that's just standing on the level, they become alerted. If they pass by another ghost that comes in, or what I call the ghost train, they join the ghost train as well. We're going to be using that to clear out ghosts in a whole lot of parts in this. And that's also basically how you build a huge ghost combo so you can up the game speed. Game speed is displayed in the very, very bottom. It can range anywhere from like 1 to 50. You're not going to see it go to 1. You will be seeing it go to 50, a whole lot though. In almost every single level of this game, actually. So the game speed is huge because this category is timed in combined in-game time. We take up all the in-game times for every single time trial for this and just add them all together. And the neat thing about this is that the in-game time in this game actually runs entirely in real time. So we're basically optimizing everything for real time, which includes the game speed. Like, the game speed doesn't scale for like real time and in-game time. Okay, I don't even know what I'm saying with that. The game speed itself is not, it doesn't affect the real time, basically. It doesn't affect how the in-game time is calculated. So we're optimizing it for real time, so we always want game speed to be as high as possible, or at least mostly as high as possible. As high as we can efficiently get. So again, other things from a gameplay perspective, a lot of actions in this game can be buffered. Buffering basically means you can input it before you're supposed to input it and it'll come out on the first frame possible. And the biggest one in this run is turning. The game actually has an official term for it. They call it like sparking, where you'll see sparks come out of Pac-Man if he's buffering a turn currently. You'll see it happen for almost every single turn in this entire game. And basically you can just cut corners and cut frames off everywhere by doing that. And nice, a 236 C2, actually not a bad start. So you see that happen. That is kind of a double-edged sword because, as you can clearly see, in addition to the ghosts that are just spawning on level by default, there are also roaming ghosts in this game, which are the bane of any runner of this game's existence, but also the thing that makes this game an interesting speedrun. So the ghosts obviously have AI of their own. You'll know in like the original Pac-Man game, they actually also have sort of like random AI patterns. In this game, they are random-ish. They're random in the same way that, say, like, Fire Emblem or, like, a Dragon Warrior speedrun is. In that they're random, but they're entirely manipulatable. In that, basically, if you do the same action when you start up a level every single time, the ghost will have the exact same pattern every single time. Essentially, like, I guess you could say the RNG is cleared to, like, a blank slate whenever you start a level, which... I guess you could say it's true. So, again, if you take the same action every single time when you start a level, it's going to have the same result. This, along with the fact that you can buffer turns so they come out on the first frame possible, means that basically the entire speedrun of this game comes down to AI manipulation. There is a whole ridiculous amount of AI manipulation. There has been, there always will be, and the rest of the runs you're going to see from here on out. Basically, going to be manipulating AI so that they're A, not in our way, which is probably the biggest part of it, and also B, so that they like conveniently come into our ghost train so we can just get little tiny improvements from like eating one more ghost, upping game speed just a little bit and saving those few frames. Mostly we're going to be manipulating them so they're not in our way. And the other major part of this run is going to be lots of clever routing. Basically trying to cut corners wherever possible, trying to just optimize it, save those few frames here and there. And that's basically what most of this run comes down to. You'll be seeing a lot of it here in Highway, where I could just move from the left of the screen to the right. Of course, very, very famous part of Pac-Man, that screen wraps on itself. And I could just do that, see right, coming up right here, I could just move to the left. It's actually much faster to use a bomb, which, I should explain bombs. They basically destroy all active ghosts, and any ghost that's in your ghost train is sent back to the start. Well, it's sent back to the ghost spawn, where the roaming ghost spawn as well. The roaming ghosts move back there as well. They also lowers the game speed by 1, which is very, very sad, because otherwise it would be way more optimal to just spam bombs everywhere, but you actually have to think about using them. I know, imagine using your brain in a speedrun, but I mean, such is the cost of going fast. So here we go. Extremely difficult section to run is the end of Highway, actually. It can be extremely technical. And a 2:44 Highway, that's an insane time, actually. Getting anywhere under, like, 2:48 is, like crazy. So here we move on to Junction. The beginning of Junction's actually been rerouted a whole ton in this game. Like, it's undergone so many changes. But I think I found a pretty optimal solution to how to get this whole shebang started. Also, the big thing about game speed and what makes it such a huge factor in this run is that obviously when your game speed is lower, considering that this game is timed entirely in basically real time, your mistakes at low speed are magnified tenfold. Like if I make a wrong turn at 20 speed compared to 50 speed, I'm gonna lose a lot more time at 20 speed than I would at 50 speed. So basically, you have to play the beginning of the run near perfectly if you want to get a good time. Which, considering they've been routed and there's so much AI manipulation going on in them, it's not exactly too difficult to do. But I mean, you can still mess up wherever. There's a million opportunities to mess up in this game. So also, while we're moving this level, I should explain the basic premise of game speed routing in this game. We're never going to want to eat our main ghost train until it's max length, which I don't actually know explicitly what the max length is. Yeah, I actually have no clue what it is. But you'll know when it's max length because no ghosts will be added to it, obviously. I mean, it's max length, you can't add any more ghosts. They'll just kind of pop up into existence. They also won't make a sound. Normally there's a big, like, swing noise whenever ghosts join your ghost train. You just won't hear anything when that happens. This game actually has a lot of very convenient audio cues, which is, you know, really sweet for speedrunning. So that was actually a bit of a safety strat right there. I could have gone straight to the left, but depending on what Blinky does right there, I can just outright die for no reason. That's also a very big part of this game. You can just die for no reason. There's a lot of very janky parts where you shouldn't die, but it just happens. Like, another feature I haven't explained yet is what I like to call Ghost Slowdown. I actually don't know if it has an official name in this game, but you'll notice before when I was running into a ghost, the game actually slowed down. This game gives you a lot of tools to play at a very high speed, which it very much demands of the player. But, like, the game will slow down when you're moving up to a ghost. The problem is that doesn't activate all the time when you're moving into a ghost. If you're moving into the back of a ghost, it sometimes just won't activate. If the ghost is across a screen boundary, it will not activate, which happens way more often than it should, especially in one specific level coming up at the very end of the run, the last level of the run, actually. And you'll notice the back of the ghost train is actually not the... the spacing between the ghosts is not entirely consistent. Basically, they'll expand and contract a little bit. And the problem is, if they expand straight into you, you will get no ghost slowdown. You'll just die instantly, which is very obnoxious. And a 257 Junction. Frankly, you can just lose time in Junction for, like, no reason. And nobody ever knows why. Like, I have a 249 best there, and I honestly have no clue why. So here we move on to Spiral. One of the the less eventful levels of this run, because it's very... There's one cool AI manipulation thing at the beginning of it that's also fairly difficult, but... fairly difficult if you want to get it optimal, I should say. You can do it slowly and it's easy, but why would you want to go slowly? So that's another thing I should note, is that a lot of the AI manipulation strats in this game are incredibly difficult. They have insanely tight frame windows for how fast you can, like this one right here. We're gonna... Alright, I kind of went the baby strat on that. You can go ridiculously fast and just kind of gung-ho it. You need to wait a very specific amount of frames before you turn there, or else Blinky will see you and start running straight in your face, in which case you need to turn back. I don't know if my save strat really saved any time over doing it normally, but I mean, such is the way of this game. There's gonna be plenty more strats like that later, too. Oh, the last level in this game has a very specific one where we need to wait exactly 2 frames on a wall if we want to get the fastest pattern. And then we need to make 2 frame perfect turns later, which... Oh, that strat is really fun. There's lots of strats like that where you just need to make insanely tight turns. There's actually one coming up very soon in one of the no DLC levels. Stay tuned for that. The most infuriating and, like, chest pain-inducing level of this run, I guess. But, oh, we'll get to that when we get to that. This level is giving me... It's giving me chest pain just thinking about it. So that's also kind of a safety strat that I was taking right there. I want to get 50 speed, and normally I would not eat that ghost train if I was in my PB attempts, because it's just not fast, but I'll take it right here, just because higher speed means I have a bit more to work with, to where if I make a mistake, it's not as huge. Which, frankly, it's a lot of, like, back-to-back turns, so you can make a mistake. It happens. And of course, if you take a wrong turn, you just need to improv your way out of it. So much of this game is actually just completely improvised, and so much improv routing. Because, obviously, you're not going to play perfectly all the time forever. God, I wish I could. My PB would already down to be like a 31. Speaking of my PB, I should go over that, because I'm sure people are curious. The fastest completion of this category is by me. I do have a world record in both no DLC and DLC. Nice, a 2:21 spiral. It's a great time. My DLC time is a 33:13, I believe, in some milliseconds. I don't know what they are. And the no DLC time is a 23:08, I believe. Which they could still go down by a whole lot. I don't exactly know what my no DLC sum of best is, but my DLC sum of best is in the 31 range, which is like crazy for this game. Because if you look at my PB, like a lot of it actually looks fairly optimized. A lot of the levels went really well, but there's just so much time making me shake off. Which is, you know, insane to think, because like when I first started running this category, like my PB was a mid 34, and now it's in a low 33, and there's still so much time to save. This game really has come a whole long way from where it first started. I mean, IL records are still being broken to this day. This game actually has quite a sizable IL community going for it on speedrun.com. Shout out to speedrun.com, by the way. Shout out to PAC, mostly. PAC, I'm gonna assume, probably is a fan of this game. Yeah, there's kind of a sizable IL community. I wouldn't exactly call it sizable. It's not like, oh, Super Mario Sunshine levels are big, but like, it's definitely a lot more than single segment, I'll give it that. Which makes me sad, because single segment is really, really cool in this game, and requires a whole lot of really, like, it really is a lot more test of technicality, in my opinion, than just ILs. But ILs are really cool anyway in this game, because there's just, like, they're insanely optimized at this point. So also, that was a bit of clever routing. The game kind of gives you a power pellet in most levels. I'm not entirely sure why, but we can use that to our advantage, and kind of skip what are essentially cycling this level. Usually you want to take your ghost train down the side of a level, and use it to alert the ghosts on the side, and I almost died right there. And, okay, I've never had that happen before, but I'll take it. So again, you're seeing the insane usefulness of bombs, where you basically just blow up ghosts that are in our path. So necessary. It's gonna get used a lot later, too. But this is the main level where it comes into play. It's basically just skipping cycles on that. If you mess up on the power pellet strat, the power pellet can actually get you quite a ways through it, but not the entire way. At least not the entire way quickly. I'm gonna try and bait Blinky into moving. That was not a good idea. Usually they'll turn quicker. I don't think Blinky was aiming to turn right there. Death, as you can see, is not too bad in this game. I mean, obviously it's not welcome. What happens on death is, obviously you lose 1 life, which, if you get a game over in time trials, frankly, I don't even know what to say. And your bomb count gets reset to what it was at the start, which is actually pretty convenient in some levels. But other levels, it's just bad, because you also lose all the bombs that you currently have. And wow, 253 on that level is kind of sad. Yeah, your bomb count gets reset to normal, which is actually occasionally useful. It makes dying not all that bad. But the worst part of it, your game speed goes down by 10, which is... oh boy, that is not good. That can lose you, like... I've had it lose me like 30 seconds on some levels. Here we go to Dungeon. Dungeon is actually one of the less eventful levels of this run. There's not like any, like, crazy clever routing like there was in the last level. There's no, like, crazy AI manipulation in this level, because you don't even get roaming goes until, like, halfway through it. And frankly, they're not ever a problem in this level. Which, of course, now that I say that, they're gonna, like, completely screw me over. This level is kind of tight and packed in, though, which makes it a little interesting, because if you mess up, there can be you can be in a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, this level is one of the least eventful ones in the run. So at least while we're going through this less eventful level, I hope you guys are enjoying, all you fine folks who are watching this, are enjoying the awesome music this game has. This game actually has a really solid soundtrack. This particular song is probably my favorite one in the game, called Pac-Rainbow. Oh, here we are, going through the level in reverse, and messing up. Awesome. Yeah, the thing about mistakes in this game is they kind of, like... they kind of go from bad to worse, as I like to say. You mess up one turn, and then the ghosts are all in a wrong position, you mess up your AI manipulation, and because you're freaking out about taking that one turn, you take another turn bad, you die. It just... mistakes can really multiply in this game. Really, a huge part of being able to play this game at a top level is being able to adjust the mistakes and not just, like, die every time. Which happens to me more times than I'd like to admit. But, yeah, see, even with that, like, minor mistake, a 216 dungeon, I had to remember what level this was, actually a pretty good time. And so now, on to the chest pain-inducing level, as I was calling it earlier. Championship 1. This level is like a classic Pac-Man game. There are no ghosts normally, and oh god, I think I already messed up that AI manipulation strat. It involves doing some very complex turns at the very beginning. Basically, they're almost all frame perfect. But, actually, this strat doesn't look like it's going too bad so far. Problem is, I have to manage to position all 4 ghosts at the same time to know if I'm on the correct pattern. Which it doesn't look like I am, but it also doesn't look bad either. Some of them look like they're on pattern, some of them look like they're not. And wow, okay. Yeah, as soon as you mess up anything in this level, it's just out the window. This entire level is routed out if you can do it perfectly, but it involves doing a frame perfect turn at the start. Oh, also, you only get 5 bombs in this level, so good luck. The only way to get more bombs in this level is to die. And also, because you can't build up any ghost trains, because there's not any, like, active ghosts on the level, you'll be at low speed for the entire thing, which means your mistakes are multiplied by, like, 20. I actually don't know what the units of the game speed are in this game. I don't think it's, like, pixels per frame or anything like that. I actually have no clue, like, how they correspond to each other. I have a feeling they're just completely arbitrary numbers. that was incredibly risky to go for. Occasionally you can kind of outspace the ghosts on stuff like that and just eat a power pellet through them. It's incredibly risky to go for, and frankly I shouldn't have, but I mean, if you're not gonna style, like, what are you even doing? That's my approach to fighting games. Like, why bother if you're not gonna style even a little bit? Hence why I play grapplers. This level can really eat bombs like crazy too, which is really, really obnoxious because there goes your entire safety net. And if you mess up a single turn, like, you're so screwed in this level. Luckily, you do get to hear the awesome PAC Rainbow. Because I don't know if it's default in this level. I believe it's default based on what visual style you're using, actually. There are multiple visual styles in this game. A lot of them, frankly, suck, and one of them is just downright unplayable, but, like, the other ones aren't bad, but they're just, like, not cool looking. But, like, the classic Style A and Style C aren't really cool looking. I believe Style C is, like, the canonical, like, Championship Edition one. At least that's what is the default in Championship 2, which is the first level. And a 303C1, which is, frankly, bad, but I mean, it used to be, like, insane if you could get under 3 minutes Championship 1 before. And now time for the other chest pain-inducing level of this run, half. As the name implies, only half this levels ever spawn at a time. The entire level takes place on the left side of the field, which can be extremely obnoxious. There's going to be a lot of clever routing. There's going to be no AI manipulation because, unlike Championship 1, there are no roaming ghosts on the stage. So no AI manip, but lots of crazy routing, lots of, not AI manipulation, but like Ghost Train manipulation, because one major thing to note about the Ghost Train, which you will see on this level, we actually saw in the very beginning you run in Championship 2, the Ghost Train will always take the shortest path possible to get to PAC-Man, which is not always convenient, because you need to clear out basically every single ghost in this level. Which means if they're taking the shortest path to come get to you, occasionally they'll just skip a few ghosts, which is not good. We need them to get out of our way so we can get all the pellets. Because again, we need all the pellets to clear out the rest of the level. Luckily, this level has very, very apparent times for like gold times, like, oh, I want to be at 50 speed under this time. Alright, our goal for 50 speed is we're going to pick up one of the fruits, one of the apples. I don't know why I keep saying fruit, they're obviously apples. One of the apples right after we gain 50 speed, and we want to pick up the apple. The old gold time was under 3 minutes, but honestly this game has been pushed so much. The goal for it is under 255 at the very least. Under 250 is really good, and it is barely possible to get our 245. Like, absolutely barely possible. I think I've gotten it once. It was the best paced half ever. Sadly, I think I died in it, so I don't think I PB'd on it. And again, we get to hear more of the wonderful PAC Rainbow on the stage. I actually don't know who composed the music in this game. I should probably find out. Someone awesome at Namco. So here's our other benchmark for getting 44 speed, which we want to be under 230, which we got it at 220, which is good. Well, we got it like right at 220. We want to be comfortably under 220, but that doesn't always happen. Now here comes 50 speed. This level gets really, really cool once it gets to 50 speed because it becomes insanely fast, and you need to make a lot of quick decisions. So yeah, as you can see, our 50 speed time, it's going to be under 250, which is good. Again, you can make under 245 on that, but it requires like the greatest paced half anybody has ever seen. I don't know, there are probably people in the community with a better half time than me. But, I mean, even getting, to show you again how far this run has come, even getting under, like, okay, I don't know how that bomb missed, but alright. Even getting under a 5-minute half, As you can see, input sometimes randomly bugs out in this game and just kills you. Because I definitely pressed down right there, but occasionally you just won't buffer a turn fast enough and you'll just die in this game. Which sadly, I died really quickly in this game, but there's a backup right here where you can use this skill string and you at least gain a bit of the speed back. It's gonna lose a lot of time. Honestly, I don't even know if we'll be under 5 minutes. Which, the old build time was like, even getting under a 5-minute half was like crazy. Like, I could not get under a 5-minute half. And then, like, randomly on one PB attempt, I got like a 450 or something. And now, like, the goal time is under 450. So also, let's see if we can get this strat. Okay, you can get through that without eating a single ghost, and it looks really cool. But it is also incredibly precise. So yeah, as I said before, you're gonna notice me randomly waiting a whole lot, because I need the ghosts to clear out all the ghosts here. Which means that I can't have them always take the shortest path, which means they'll just skip some. Luckily, I do have 5 bombs from dying, which I don't even think I used a single bomb before this, which means I can do some skips to kind of skip around in this. Or I can just do that anyway, and not even have to use a bomb. And a 457 on the nose half. That's actually not a terrible time. Anything under 5 minutes is honestly pretty good. So that was all the non-DLC levels in this game. We're going to be proceeding on to the 4 DLC levels in this game though. Because, I mean, why would you not want to play more of this game? This game's just so awesome. It's so much fun to run. There's so much improv, there's so much thinking involved in it. It's not just like, oh, grind on this route for like 20 hours, like some of the other speedruns I've done. Not gonna name any names, but... So yeah, here's Mountain. Mountain's the least eventful level in this run. It's the easiest, and also the shortest, actually. Sadly, kind of a bad start to the DLC levels, but oh, trust me, they get... Oh, they get interesting later. Oh, they sure get interesting, especially the next level. The next level is, oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. I said that Championship 1.5 are the most chest pain-inducing levels in the run. The next one actually gives it quite a run for its money. And it really shouldn't, but it does. So yeah, the real challenge of this level is how many times can you press up and right and hurt your hand on the keyboard while doing it. This game, that is probably actually a problem with running this game. This game might actually hurt your hands, in that there's a lot of really complex finger acrobatics that go into it. I have an input display on my screen, on my stream to actually show them, because well, it's kind of silly if you look at the input display. All the like insane, like just key presses that I'm doing, and that was not supposed to happen. The goal time for Mountain is realistically under 155. I mean, anything under 2 minutes is alright. I say alright as in like marathon alright, not as in like actually alright, because if you're getting a 2-minute Mountain in your run, like I'm sorry, but it's not exactly that great of a run. And a 154, which is not great. That's one of the few levels, a lot of the levels in this game you can realistically perform near your some best pace. That one is definitely one of them. So even that time was not all that great. And here we go, Big Eater, the most infuriating, awful level in this entire game. You start at 10 speed. And this level is routed incredibly weirdly. This level is also attempted to go under a lot of reroutes. But the one thing that makes this hard is, as you might have seen on the other screens, there's a replay button. This game actually does save replays for your levels of your best times. It also does it for like score attack and stuff. I don't know if it's a bug with how my replay is recorded or something, or I don't know if it just doesn't do it for DLC levels. I haven't actually checked, but I have no replay for this level, even though my best time is a 2:25. And my like average time that I get in PBs is like probably a 2:45. And I would love to know how I get that time, but I cannot find the video. we're not doing that again. That's actually something very interesting that you'll note if you play this game a lot, like I do. You'll note that the ghosts actually have very specific patterns. Like, if you run into them like head on, like Blinky will almost always turn away from you, whereas Pinky will tend to charge straight into you because, I hate Pinky. You also might notice that the ghosts do that little thing where you just kind of spin in circles. That is the single most terrifying thing in this entire game, is when the ghosts just sit there and run in circles. They have so much like movement flexibility. It's like dash dancing in the Smash games. Like you're not sure what they're gonna do next. They have so many like options out of that movement. Especially when they all move right next to each other. I've never seen that happen actually. I would say that's incredibly rare, but it's not random, so I can't. The mathematician in me would cry if I said that. So yeah, also, that's an interesting thing to note right there, which what made the fact that I died on the early level so weird, is the ghost hitboxes in this game really weird. Like, they have like no hitbox in front of them at all, but like behind them it extends massively. And I will never understand what it is about the ghost hitbox in this game, but it like makes no sense. And a 236 big heater, that's a really good time. I'll be lucky if I get under, like, 250 in my PBs. I don't know why I'm so awful at big eaters. And here we go, Championship 3. There's gonna be a lot of what I like to call quick turns in the stage, where you just go, like, right here, in, eat one pellet, apparently miss, which is very bad because that throws off the AI manipulation route. Because normally you would turn right here, you would grab that pellet, and Blinky would come towards you, and oh boy, I might have done that wrong, and that might be extremely bad. So this level is also undergone a lot of rerouting. And the funny thing is, it underwent rerouting to go back to the original route that I had before. So normally on those quick turns on the second one, I would go to the top of the stage and then turn down to get it, because I wouldn't get any ghost slowdown from Blinky, so I'm like, oh, that'll save a few frames right there. But it turns out, it mimics the AI so awfully that they just run into your face for the rest of the entire level. Like, no matter what you're doing. And it's so unbelievably awful. And sadly, that happened to me right there, because I missed the first one. So, I don't know how this is going to play out, because I missed the other ones as well. But, we'll see. This can get very scary really quickly. As you can see, they're just running straight into me. If I did the beginning perfectly, I wouldn't have to worry about this at all. And I messed that up really badly. You also, this is actually the only level in the entire game that just gives you bombs. Which is very weird. So as you can see, that saves like frames. Which is, I mean, again, if you're not gonna style, why are you even bothering? And this is kind of risky to not eat my ghost train that I had, because they can screw you over quite badly here. And especially if you miss, because you're at extremely high speed. Luckily, we have enough bombs that we should be good. And AI is... okay, the thing where you buffer a turn and you run straight into the back of ghosts happened right there. Honestly, I kind of expected to take at least one death on C3 in this run, because I was... especially after attempting that kind of risky strat. The annoying thing is that now probably the ghosts will be jerks and just run straight in my face the whole time. And that ghost slowdown, those like few frames of slowing down, that adds up majorly over a run. I had one time where it happened, I played the rest of the level like perfectly. I just messed up that beginning quick turn strat and I lost like 30 seconds. I got like a 330, which is just like crazy. It's crazy how much time it loses. And we're not playing this game again. I'm not gonna run straight into the back. I'm gonna take this just for safety. Just to give myself a bit of leg room. And, oh! Okay, that's actually a glitch that can happen with bombs right there. It's incredibly easy to pull off. But it happened anyway. You can actually cancel the death animation in this game. I know, just one similar that this game has with Titanic. And good, a 320. You can see how much time a death eats up, and also missing that AI manipulation strat. So here we're on to the last level of the DLC part. Highway 2, this is the single most optimized level in this entire game. You see that best time 209 in the corner? That was stuck at 211 for the longest time. I could not beat that 211. That 211 was crazy optimized, went like almost perfectly. But we have a specific AI manipulation strat that I found at the beginning of this level. We're gonna see if I can get it. It's incredibly difficult. It is a frame perfect turn. But if we get it, it will set up incredibly well for the rest of the level, and we can get under 210 basically. So right here. I might have actually waited too long. If you wait too long, there are still backups. They're not quite as fast, but you can still get a decent time. And wow, I actually started the turn right there and I somehow died. I've never had that happen before, actually. It's crazy, every single time you run this game, you see something new. Just something new and stupid happens every time. But it's like the haha funny stupid, not like the oh my god this is stupid, I don't want to play this game anymore. It's like the wow, I can't believe that just happened, stupid. Unlike some other specific games that I've ran in the past. Again, not naming any names. And are you... The ghost actually delayed on that turn. Like, he was supposed to turn faster, but didn't. So I'm gonna take this as safety. This might be the worst Highway 2 I've ever had in my entire life. Not only did I potentially fail the AI manipulation strat, but I've died twice. And this ghost train whip is not working out well. You want to bomb at very specific times so the ghosts like end up in this very specific position. And no, I'm not having that happen again. So I'm actually going to play it incredibly safe right here. So also, this is the level that I was talking about earlier, where ghosts can come from the side of the screen, and you don't get any ghost slowdown if they happen, and so you just die. Which just happened to be, again, way more times than I'd like to admit. So I'm gonna eat the entire train as safety. They are doing that stupid circle thing again. And so now we're getting bad AI manipulation where the ghosts are just running straight in our face. This is what we tend to avoid with AI manipulation strats. And I'm gonna wait right there, because I have 2 bombs left. As you can see how much time, like, all this combined wastes, because I'm at 237 right now. We're at the very end of this level. My best time is a 209. Again, you can consistently get, like, under 215 on this level easily. And I'm out of bombs. This is bad. I'm gonna have to eat to death. So yeah, this is probably the worst Highway 2 in all of history. Almost getting a 3-minute Highway 2. But that's the entire run, that's all the DLC levels, even if that was the worst Highway 2 I've ever seen in my entire life. It actually probably was. But again, thank you all for watching. Thank you to anybody in the GDQ committee who's watching this, considering this run for consideration. I promise you, you will not regret it if you pick this run. This run is a big hoot, I guess. And on that note, after saying probably the most embarrassing thing I've ever said in my life, thank you all for watching. Peace out.